So, so just we completed up to corporate book or say asset book definition the last session. Just we plan to create tax book based on the concept. When we deal with the mass copy functionality as a part of mass copy, we require like tax book will define whenever it is required. Now we'll proceed with asset category definition. We'll go and create the asset category. Okay, just navigate to implementation project. So this is a project we are using. Search for asset categories. So manage asset categories. All these tasks you could see in the sequence only. So this is what already we completed: value sets, flex fields, structures and instances, system controls, physical years, and asset calendar, prorate convention, and asset books also we completed. Now we have to create asset categories. Just click on go to task icon. Say create category. So we defined few values for major and minor. For major category, we have many major category values which are exist in the value set which I mean whatever it's there as a part of instance since it's a vision instance. So this is a category value set. Within this FA minor category, we added two values, right? In the major category, one value; in the minor category, two values. So we'll use those values for our new category definition. So major category. So we this is a value which we created. Google buildings. The minor category, you can select office building or shopping complex. Say office buildings. You may write the description here. Buildings. Category type, all we can accept defaults until unless you have a requirement of specification. If it's a leased asset and all. Okay, fine. Just give this information, then click on add. So this category you want to maintain in which book? We have to associate this category to our corporate book. Just click on add row. First we have to select our corporate book. Fine. So this is a
Lakshman, I have a quick question though. When you clicked on it, you're waiting. Sometimes you're waiting, sometimes you're not waiting.
No.
Where exactly wheel is churning? And I want to see.
I'm not just before system will perform. Just I'm saying we have to select. I'm saying that means what we are going to do. I'm just trying to explain. That's it. I'm not doing.
No. My question is when you clicked on the plus sign, right? We are giving a little bit time to system to respond, right?
Correct. Exactly.
Sometimes system may not respond, sometimes it may respond.
Correct.
Somewhere any wheel is churning or something is happening, we can see. Just trying to understand that part.
No. See, in the older versions, okay, older versions here on the top corner, they are giving one icon symbol which will show the process. Okay, but sometimes what you could do is if you click on something, create or add, okay, depending on that function, here the process will be running. Normally here the process you could notice if you are trying to go with a new navigation or if you are trying to create something, some definition. But within the page when you are performing something, okay, sometimes in the bottom navigation path it will be showing as it is routing to some other page or function. The most of the time nothing you could see.
Okay.
That's how it works.
I'm just trying to understand when to wait, when not to wait. So,
Correct,
okay,
correct,
thanks. Yeah.
correct. You're right. But so in the very older versions, they given that process icon. Whatever you do, it will be just keep rotating. And that means in progress. But the later versions, they removed it. Only the point is, if we are very sure we clicked on, just we have to wait to see the response.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. Fine. So we selected our corporate book here, and we have to associate all these accounts, okay, with this category specification for this category. So we'll provide these mandatory accounts. Asset cost. So this category is all about billings. We can select the billing account, company, department, account. So billings. Say okay. And select that code. Just copy that code combination and paste here for asset clearing. Now we can change the account. We know like this account, we should have a exact account which we will be using in the mass addition process, right? So select asset clearing account. Asset clearing account. Take the same code combination, change the account. Depreciation expense account. Which depreciation? Building depreciation expense account. Search with the term called as billing. So select account called as billing depreciation. Nothing but billing depreciation expense account. Okay. So rest of this field you can select account called as depreciation reserve account, or else you can go with any one of the account. The other accounts which you see here all are optional. So when you are dealing with the CIP asset, will provide the relevant accounts. As of now, nothing is mandatory. Go to default rules where you can specify the depreciation method under prorate conversion details. Under default rules, click on add. Select depreciation method. Just for our testing, we can go with a straight line. And life in years for the assets which we are going to maintain within the category. So 60 years in months 0. And select the prorate conversion. Just we create prorate conversion as a full month, right? So retirement time, how you want to calculate, till which date or entire month, that also you can go with the same. So prorate conversion beginning of the asset first period, it's the last period. In both scenarios, we want to go with the full month. Done. Give all the specifications, say save and close. So the new category is ready. Okay. We created category, and the category we associate with our corporate book. Done. Now we have to assign the roles to our user. To assign the roles to our user, you can navigate to security console. Go to security console. Okay. Just as of now, we are using this Fusion 123 user. You can continue with that, or else I'll just create user as a Google, and I'll assign all these roles to that user. That will do late after completing the FA. Okay, we'll go with the same username. Like we can have any username. So Fusion 123. You can click on the login name. Just click on edit. Assign roles to this user. So what we'll do is, to this user GL roles also not assigned. Okay, just we'll assign. We know we have a 5 roles for GL, but just to open the GL periods, we'll go and assign 2 roles. Those are 2 roles are enough. General accounting manager and accountant. For this user, no GL roles assigned. So I'm just assigning the 2 roles. You don't need to assign 5 roles. Now we are not going to work on GL. Just to open the GL periods, just I'm associating. Now we'll assign the role related to fixed assets. Okay, asset accountant. And we have other roles called as asset accountant would be enough. We have a few other roles also. So we can go with accountant. That would be enough. We don't need to other roles. It will have all the functionality related access to fixed assets. That would be enough. So we assign that role. That is enough. Just say save and close. Now what we'll do is, total GL 2 roles and FA 1 role we assign. For these 2 roles, we'll go and assign our primary ledger. For this asset accountant, we have to assign the corporate book. Okay, now we'll just be done with this task. We'll provide the data access for a user for the respective roles. To perform that, we have to navigate to the task called as data access for users. Go to setup and maintenance. You can just go with the search option, or you can perform from project. We'll go with the search. So task name is data access for users. Manage data access for users. Click on create. The username Fusion 123. Select role. First we'll map the primary ledger to GL roles. So general accountant. So equity contest is data access set. Or ledger name is Google USA primary ledger. So role is general accounting manager. Security contest is data access set. Select contest value as a ledger name. It's nothing but data access set name, which is created by system against our primary ledger. The other role is asset accountant. So select asset book. Asset book is the name we given as a Google corporate book. Say save and close. Done. Submit LDAP job. Go to ESS job page by selecting the task called as scheduled processes. Just say OK. Submit. Okay, it may take some time. Okay. What we'll do is we'll just sign out and sign in, and we'll go and check it whether that roles are synchronized with the respective data definitions. Means primary ledger and corporate book will verify. Done. Okay, first we'll go and open the GL periods. So under general accounting, we have a task called as period close. Click on the task. So GL period status is never opened for the current month. We click on the status and it will ask us to open the first period within our accounting calendar. So Jan 18 is first period, say OK and yes. Just click on this refresh to see the status of first period. Okay, the first period status is open. Now we can open the target period. Go to actions, select open target period. Our target period is current month, that is July 18. Say OK, refresh. Okay, done. So we know very well there is no concept of opening the periods in fixed assets. So at the time of book definition, whatever the period we select as a current period, that by default it would be open. So based on the depreciation run, if you go with the final mode depreciation, the current period system will close and it will open next period automatically. The same logic here, they didn't change anything in the Fusion applications. Okay, how the periods can be managed in EBS. Same is applicable in Fusion also. Okay, manually you don't need to go and open close anything. Everything happens based on the depreciation run. Fine, done. So that's all about setups. We're done with that. Okay, now we'll see the manual additions. If we talk about manual additions in EBS, we have two options: quick additions, right, and detailed additions. So we have two options. If you navigate to Asset Workbench, you could see these two options: quick additions. The other one is detailed additions. With the quick additions, with the basic information, we can create asset. When we talk about detailed addition, you can provide more information about the asset definition that may be related to lease related information or warranty information, insurance related information, or guarantee related other like model information depending on that asset. Okay, so if it is a plant and all, the model, warranty, lot of other information you can enter if you go with the detail edition. With the quick edition, with the very basic information you can provide quickly, you will be able to create the asset. Okay, for these two we have two different tabs in invoice asset workbench. In case of EBS, the quick additions and detail additions, how we can perform in Fusion, we'll see now first. Okay, as a part of manual additions, we have two options: quick and detail in EBS. The same is applicable in the Fusion also, but how the process wise, how those are different from where we can perform, we'll go. Okay, fine. To navigate to fixed assets, go to navigator. Within the navigator, you can find the assets. Here we have a fixed assets. So you have to select the task called as assets. Click on assets. So here you can see that it's connecting. It's sometimes it shows processing. We clicked on this. Here you can identify the system is performing some action or it is not responding. Sometimes even it is processing, you may not see the progress indication here. Just we have to wait and see. That's all. Done. So Google corporate book, this user is connected to this corporate book and with associated roles. So now we want to create the asset through manual addition. Just click on the task list, say add asset. Task is add asset. System is defaulting the corporate book and asset type also is getting defaulted. We have to select the category, the existing category we have to select. We created one category called as Google Buildings and Office Buildings, right? Same category we'll select Google Buildings, Office Buildings. Say OK and provide description. Say ABC Buildings and cost. Say $10 lakhs and units, number of units, how many buildings, say one only. And expense account, from this category system is defaulting this expense account, only natural account. The rest of segment values we have to enter. Company and department. Company, department. Just say OK. And location. The building is going to be located in which physical location. So just you can select specific or random values. There won't be any validation, system will accept. Okay. Just go with any one of the value, no issues. since we are defining the billing, so here say it's not applicable, none you can specify. Okay, so this is the location, this is city just located, just say okay. Done. Now if you click on submit, system will create the asset that would be equal to quick addition. And if you want to go with the detail addition option, you have to click on next. Okay, so in EBS we have two different tabs to perform this quick addition and detail addition, but here everything you can manage with the same definition. Whether you want to, after providing, first step is we have to provide the basic information. With that, if you want to create asset, yes, you can submit. Apart from this, if you want to add any other details for this asset definition, that falls under detail addition. In that case, we have to click on next. Now if you click on submit, system will create the asset with a quick addition option, and if you go with the next, it will allow us to add other details for this asset definition. Just click on next, you can see what are the other details we can add for this asset definition, which system treat as a detail addition. So we could notice lot many fields here. Here you can enter the asset number. If you enter the asset number, system will take the same number. If you don't enter any asset number, whatever we have in this system controls, okay, right, the system controls asset number is already specified. With that number, it will create the asset numbering for assets, right? If you provide, it will take that number, otherwise it will take the running number, whatever we have in the setup process. Okay, and you can come up with all these descriptive details, tag number, serial number, and all these details, and manufacturer details, model. Depends whether the asset is that category of asset. If it is a plant and all, you may enter manufacturer details and model information. You may write some comments and other details, all you can provide here. But now we don't require, but just we are trying to understand. You may provide asset key. Okay, like it's additional representation of tracking the assets. So you may tag these assets with the different keys depending on requirement. If you think you want to track this, you can track it, or else you can keep the value as none, or else you may ignore it. It's not a mandatory field. I'm just keeping as none. We are not tagging this asset with any key. And here you can associate the employee with this asset if you want to do that. Otherwise, employee association is optional. Expense account and locations are mandatory. Those already be given. Okay, done. You can click on submit. Now system will create the asset based on this information. Okay, system created. To find out that asset definition, you can navigate to asset inquiry. Okay, go to asset inquiry, task. So system is selected our corporate book. Then click on search to find out the assets which are in this corporate book. We created only one asset, so the same we can see. Asset number is 111997. Description is ABC Buildings. Asset type is capitalized. It belongs to this category. Asset key we given as none. No attachments, no documents we attach related to this asset. And this asset is available in which books? Google corporate book, and it's a corporate book, and cost we enter 10 lakhs, and no depreciation we calculate YTD or depreciation result, nothing. And here the book specific information, financial information. Yes, depreciation is applicable. We didn't calculate any depreciation. And any descriptive information we provided, no. Okay, no details we provided. And the source lines, no, this is not related to source line. Source lines is nothing but if this asset, if you define from the source line, which is from APR projects, then system will be capturing that line information. Any question?
Lakshman, the serial number column, can we bring it from the inventory? Inventory has serial numbers, right? So can we
Where
derive it from the inventory?
where
Tag number, serial number, asset key,
tag number? No, 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 no.
the
The,
serial number.
these serial number.
Because that is an asset, right? Every asset will have, every item will have a serial number
Asset
attached to it.
serial numbers are different from inventory. You
Yeah,
cannot mix. It's two different accounting that will happen.
Oh,
These are, if you are trying to group assets, you will give this unit with you may say on your header is an asset of quantity 10 units, and you can give the serial numbers within that. This serial number is totally different from the inventory serial number.
inventory.
okay.
It's not at all connected with inventory. Okay.
Sorry, I took liberty.
Yeah, yeah. Fine. No, no. Yes. Okay. So source lines, that's all about if the lines information, asset lines information is coming from other source, other systems, that will become source lines and all. Assignments, yes, these are the assignments we did, expense account and the location and cost history, and we didn't perform any actions on the cost, for this asset related to any cost related information. Whatever we entered, it's there as is. We didn't perform any other additional activities. No depreciation we calculate for this asset, so you don't see any information and transactions. So the asset whatever we created, that falls under which transactions. Okay, just it's all about nothing. Just we didn't do anything. Just it's all about addition only which you performed. Only additions, transfers and all nothing we did. So it won't show any information. It's as it is. We know like we can do the asset transfers between the employees and expense accounts under locations. So that is as it is how we have. The same is reflecting. No transfers we did. So this is how just asset is created. We use the detail addition process. Okay. So that's all about the quick and detail addition. With the basic information, if you submit, system will create asset that we have to treat as quick additions. And if you provide some additional details and if you submit, that falls under detail addition. In EBS case, we have this different naming convention also in the asset workbench, but here you don't see that. Okay, but how you are doing accordingly, we have to understand. That's all about manual addition. Okay, the depreciation calculation and all we'll see after some time. Now the same assets we can create from spreadsheet, okay, or ADFDI we can call. Even in EBS also we have this functionality which we call as Web ADI, right? In EBS also we can create assets through Web ADI functionality where we can enter the asset information in the spreadsheet that can be imported into FA master interface. Okay, from there you can prepare the asset and you can convert the asset, that line into asset definition, or else within the web ADA itself you can set the queue status as a post and you can provide all the details directly. You can create the asset definition from the spreadsheet to system. So or else two options we have: enter line and submit to interface and prepare and do convert as asset, or else directly from spreadsheet create asset in the FA in EBS. Same applicable in Fusion also, but here instead of calling as Web ADI we are calling as ADFDI, right? Now we'll go and see how to create asset from spreadsheet. So to create the asset from spreadsheet, go to assets task, go to task list. Here we have a task called as add assets in spreadsheet. Okay, just say okay. Yes, in this book we want to create, and we want to create asset as a capitalized asset. Just say go and say open. Say correct. Provide our user credentials. Say skip. Fine. So interface line number, just any number you can enter. And yes, this is a book in this book only we want to enter the assets, and asset type is capitalized. Q status is new. Okay, let it be as a new only, so that we will go to that FA lines, master interface lines. We can convert the Q status to post, then only that asset line can be converted to asset definition. If you put as status as a post, directly system will submit this process, as well as this line will get converted as asset definition, right? Okay, we'll keep it as a new only. Later we'll change to post, so that system will allow us to create asset. So asset description say XYZ buildings, and provide category. Double click and select major and minor category values. Just say OK. So date placed in service, we can take today's date. Asset cost, say 5 lakhs. Units, number of units 1, and you can provide the asset location. Double click. We know it's ADF means it's an online sheet which is integrated, which is connected with a live application, right? So select country, state. Okay, select any one of the value for city, because these all are not maintained with a hierarchy. You know, all are independent value sets are defined. Okay, say OK. Okay. How come it is taking like this? It has to take country here, state here, city, building. Something wrong with this.
I think in EBIS it does it that way by contacting. I mean, if you define DFFs, it's going to do dot dot or dash that way.
No. Even here, because we have a separate fields, it should work in this way or that way only. I think somewhere like when it is trying to put that information, those records, it is going wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, it works in the same way, because we did multiple times. Okay, what happened to system this time? We'll see. Just it should work. Okay, it's going wrong. I'll do one thing. That means something wrong with this spreadsheet. So provide here, since these are valid information, it will accept. Yeah, done. No issues. So now just you can provide the depreciation expense account. Double click, select company, department, and do the depreciation expense account. select billing depreciation expense account. So billing depreciation, say okay. Say okay. And okay. So this is how it has to take into the respective fields. But some in the location case, something wrong. Okay, fine, no issues. Asset number, if you want to enter so that the system will take the same, or else it will go with a running sequence number what we have in the system. You may specify the asset key if you want to give it, or else anyway it's optional, you can ignore it. I'm just selecting it as a none, not applicable. So these all are optional, and you can provide the clearing account, asset clearing account. Double click. Company. Department. And asset clearing account. Say okay. Okay. So each field should go to respective column. Yes. Each account value. Done here. Ownership, owned, depreciation. Yes. So you can just look into all these fields. So and depreciation method. Say okay. Yeah, it's taking properly. No issues. Unit of measurements are all not required. Just verify all the columns. Done. Okay, that's all. These are the details we have to provide. The basic asset definition. Now you can go to create asset additions. Say submit. If you submit, the data goes to FA master interface. If you click on post, if you want to post it, so we provided required information for asset definition also, but if the queue status is new, you cannot post it, right? If you want to directly create asset from here, you can change the queue status to post, then you can click on post. Now what we'll do is let it be as a new only. We'll submit so that this record will be submitted to interface. We'll go there and we'll change to post and we'll post it. Okay, just click on submit. The same is applicable in EBS also, right? Just say okay.
Lakshman, you don't need to delete other lines. Like there are a lot other lines with information, right?
No, these are just asset book and asset type are defaulted. If we have a complete record, then only system will consider that.
Okay.
Yeah. These are coming as a kind of default information when you click on that add asset in spreadsheet, right? So these information system won't consider. Yep. Done. So we submit it. Now we can go and find this line in the FA mass addition interface. Go to application. So how do you find in case of EBS? We have a separate function called as prepare mass additions, right? Okay, mass additions, prepare mass additions. With that navigation, we can find the lines which are available in the interface, which are coming from accounts payables or project costing, any application or third party application. Here, the naming convention you don't see as a mass addition or prepare mass addition. Here the name is prepare source lines. The data which is coming from specific sources as a lines information. The asset line information will come from specific source. That is the reason the naming convention they given as source lines. Prepare source lines, it will navigate us to the interface data. The data which is available in the FA mass addition interface tables, that data will be able to access by selecting this task. Just click on prepare source lines. Just click on search. The lines which are available in the FA mass addition interface, those you can see here. Yes. XYZ buildings, this is what we created. 50,000, $5 lakhs, right? XYZ buildings, 5 lakhs. I'm just closing this. The same we could see here. Okay. Q status is new. Now, if you want to convert this line as asset definition, we have required information as a part of this line, right? Because all the details we given in the spreadsheet itself. Otherwise, if you provide the basic details over there, here you can add the details. So now select this line, go to actions, click on edit, and before that we can understand one point. So we are able to see this line in the interface, right? And if you go to this assets task, under that you could see in the additions, one incomplete line is available. That is this XYZ. Okay. Within the interface, there is one incomplete line. From here also you can navigate by clicking on, but we'll go from here. Prepare source lines. Select that line. After selecting, go to actions. Here you can find the function called as edit. Click on edit. This line definition will be open. And you can add other details if you want to add, or else you may proceed with the same information by changing the queue status from new to post. Change queue status to post, then click on save and close. Now we updated this line status as a new post. So now system is changing this information from incomplete to ready to post, because the status is changed, the queue status is changed from new to post. So this line is available to post. So here, can you see any tab called as post? No. If you want to get tab called as post here, what you have to do is you have to click on this ready to post hyperlink. Click on this, so that system will be adding below post option. Here it will add. Now as of now we don't have. Now it's added post all. I have to click on this. Now click on post all. Okay, how many lines? One or multiple you can post. If you want to post specific one, you have to select like this, and you have to click on post. All means selected all. Click on post. Now system will convert this line as a asset definition. Asset addition were submitted. Asset additions were submitted.
So what does this post all do? It is going to send the transactions accounting entries to GL. Is that what it is?
what it will normally, EBS FA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in EBS FA, what we'll do is, once we get the lines from any system, we'll do the prepare mass addition, right? In prepare mass addition, we can add additional details, category and other details, and we can change the queue status. After prepare mass addition, what is the next step? Post mass addition, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Now the
I got the
same we
process.
did. Post means instead of giving that post mass addition, they're given as a post. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Thanks.
Yeah. It may be one line, but tab itself they're given all. All means one here. You may have multiple sometimes. Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. Thanks. Fine, done. Now we'll go and find this line as a asset definition. Go to asset inquiry and click on search. You can find the total two assets. So ABC, which we created through manual process, XYZ through this spreadsheet. And if you go to this XYZ buildings, if you go to source lines, yes, you could see that information. So, okay, the source is Oracle spreadsheet, nothing but ADFDA. So based on that spreadsheet data, we created this asset. Okay, done. That's all about asset creation through spreadsheet. In EBS, we have same as Web ADA, but in the Fusion, we are calling as ADFDA. Mass additions, merge, split, and we'll see those a bit later. Now we'll go with the, okay, because these are based on integration, right? So mass additions, merge, split, all will do. We'll create an invoice in API that will interface to FA, and we'll be working on that. This all will do just after some time. Now, whatever we can perform directly in the fixed assets, we'll see those. So CIP asset under CIP capitalization. We'll see how to create the CIP asset, and we'll add the cost and we'll capitalize it. So if you want to create the CIP asset, we have to make sure that the category has CIP accounts. Otherwise, system won't allow us to create the asset, right? Say, let's try to create it. It won't allow because it will look at accounts availability. I selected we want to create CIP asset. So this is a major category value. This is a minor category value. If you say OK, it gives the message. It won't allow us. So any text you can enter, cost you cannot enter. You can select any one of the existing category by clicking on search. You know, like if you click on search, all existing categories system will display, right? Existing combinations. Say submit. So you cannot add a CIP asset to this category because CIP accounts are not defined in this category and in this book. So it's a mandatory we have to maintain the CIP accounts within the category. Otherwise, you cannot use that category for CIP asset definition, right? So now we'll just go on to create the, I will go and add the CIP cost and the CIP clearing accounts in the category so that we can use that category to create the CIP assets and to convert CIP assets as a capitalized assets. Okay, go to asset categories. Search for asset categories. Click on manage asset categories. Okay, here we have a task called as manage asset categories. Click on go to task icon. Find a category which already we created. So you can search with our book name. So that category is associated with our book, right? So click on search. Just click on edit. So if you go to accounts, here we have a CIP cost and CIP clearing account. So we have to provide these two accounts. Copy this code combination and paste and change account to CIP cost account.
Lakshman, now that you're on the screen,
Yeah,
I have one question.
please.
EBIS, some of these code combinations that we enter they cannot be altered once we save it.
Yeah.
Is that the same here?
Even you can
the asset cost, asset clearing,
even
they've
you can
paid out. Okay.
grade out to that same.
Yeah.
Because once
Okay.
the cost
Gotcha.
is updated and all, there is no meaning if you are changing, right?
I mean, generally what happens is you make typos. So
Yeah.
you'll figure out, or business gives the account number. Keep changing the account numbers.
Correct.
So,
But in the application point of view, we cannot, right?
yeah. I mean, in e-business suite, there was a way, you use those help and examine and then still go in and override it. That's how we can trick it, but
that option
that is not here.
That option we have where it doesn't impact for existing, then we can do it. But it's not at all recommended for accounts to go and change, which Oracle is preventing to change, right? But yes,
Well, it happens sometimes, because
with proper property, you can edit it. Yes. All right. Okay, we given CIP cost account and provide here CIP clearing account.
Sorry, I'm back again. If you're not able to edit that, and it's a huge risk. I mean, it'll a big issue if business, after 1 month of going of performing some tasks, they figure out the asset cost has changed from X to Z. Then it's like scrapping the whole thing and then doing if you don't have access to change it. That won't, if you change the account for the next transactions, the account that is going to get defaulted with that. There's no specific impact, but for some reason Oracle, grays it out. But if business changes the account number, then we have to scrap. That's the biggest downside.
The best way to get away from that is you define a new category with a new accounts, transfer all the assets from one category to another category. That's how you can change all the accounts.
But sometimes just still always we have option to talk to Oracle if they can help us on somehow. If we are planning to do that. Yeah. Yep. That's true. Okay. Yeah. So we're just done with this category update. We added the required accounts. Okay. Done. So now we'll go and create the CIP asset and we'll add the cost and we'll convert as a capitalized. So the same task, add asset and select asset type as a CIP. Now select the category, in which category we have CIP accounts, CIP cost and the CIP clearing accounts. Say OK. Description, I'll say 1, 2, 3. and provide depreciation expense account. Say OK and select location. You can just click on search to select existing location combination. Okay, click on next. So cost is not, field is freezed, right? So here, so you may just provide the asset category if you want to specify, or you can ignore it. So it's a none. Now for this asset definition, now or later point of time, you can open this asset and you can go to financial details. Here you can add the cost for the asset. In EBS, how we do, we'll go to the asset workbench. Within the asset workbench, you can find one tab called as source lines. Okay, source lines. Through source lines only you can add the cost to CIP asset. Then finally you can capitalize. Here also same applicable, but you have to enter into the same asset definition. You have to go to financials details. There you can find the source lines. Through source lines, you can add the cost to this CIP asset. So here we have a source lines. Click on add. So directly you can enter line amount. Say 9 lakhs. If you want to specify other details, you may enter. If this information is not, since you are manually entering, you can enter directly that relevant information. So this is how just you can add the cost to CIP asset, and you can go to capitalize it. Go to capitalize CIP assets, search. So here let me search only for CIP assets. Now here asset type is all it is giving the results. So search for only CIP. So this is only the CIP asset we have. Just select and say capitalize. Even in EBS also same. There will be separate window to capitalize. Select asset and enable the checkbox and click on capitalize. That's how we'll do. Same here also we are doing. Select record, click on capitalize. So date placed in service, today's date. Done. Now these three assets you can find as a capitalized assets if you go with asset inquiry. Asset type is 1, 2, 3 capitalized. So this is how simply we can capitalize the assets. That's all about CIP and the capitalization. When I talk about reclassification, like it's all about changing the asset category. Okay, it's all about changing the asset category. Say by mistake you taken an asset into wrong category, you can move to the right category, or else you are maintaining some assets in one category. Later the asset category itself you change. Say you just let's take the simple example what we created value. Say we have office building shopping complex. You have a 10 buildings which you are maintaining in the category called as office buildings. Later you just changed, so you just converted from office to just some shopping complex or some commercial. So now since you just the purpose of buildings you changed, you have to change the category also for those assets from office buildings to shopping complex. So the same way like it's any reason, it's all about classifying, changing the asset category. So if you want to test it, we have to create one more category. Okay, we're going to create one more asset category, and we can change the asset from current category to new category. Okay, so just we'll go and create one more category so that we can perform this reclassification. Say asset category. So manage asset categories. Say create. Sorry. So Google Buildings. And already we created a category with office buildings. Now we can go with the shopping complex. So done. Now take this category into our corporate book. Provide relevant accounts. Asset cost account. So billings. And provide asset clearing account. And depreciation expense account for billings. Okay, so fine, like we given most of the mandatory accounts. Now we can go to default rules. So add. Okay, specify these details. Corporate convention, retirement convention. So save and close. We created one more category. Now what we'll do is, so we'll go and do reclassify the one or multiple assets. Fine. Go to assets. Now we have three assets in category called as office buildings. Now we'll move one asset from office building to shopping complex category. Fine. Go to asset workbench. Go to task list. And here you can go with the task called as adjust assets. Here you can find the reclassification option. Go to adjust assets. Okay, find assets. So there are three assets we have. Which asset category you want to change? Say first asset. Select. Here we have a option called as change category. So why you are changing, you may just write here by mistake you selected, or just the classification got changed internally. Okay, that in comments you can write. Finally you can select new category. This is the current category for the asset office buildings. Now we are going to change to new category called as shopping complex. Done. Now you can go on to inquire about the assets. So not yet updated. Now we can see the first asset, ABC Buildings, falls under shopping complex category. Remaining two assets, office buildings. So this is just simply you can change the category. It's all about reclassification. The other task is running the depreciation. Okay, we'll go and run the draft mode depreciation and we'll run the final mode after some time. So go to assets task. If you go to this assets, this you can call as asset workbench or assets work area. Okay, so here you can see the depreciation infolet. So July 18 means this period is open period. Where we given this period as open period in the this book definition, right? At the time of corporate book definition, we given the current period as a July 2018. The same system is displaying here as a open period. So you can just select this infolet, select it, click on that. It will give you the information about the depreciation, how many additions we have within that period. All the information will display. So the period related specifications within this July 2018, the completed additions are 4. Okay, no retirements are done. All the details you can see. And if you remember in EBS, when you go to run depreciation window, first we'll select the corporate book and we select the system will default the open period and we'll have a one checkbox called as close period checkbox. If you enable close period and if you run, that is a final mode. Without enabling the close period checkbox, if you run the depreciation, that is a draft mode. Here they're given the option for the both. If you click on the drop down, close period means it's a final mode depreciation, or else directly you can click on calculate depreciation, that means draft mode. In EBS case, the logic is enabling or disabling the checkbox, right? If you enable final mode, if you don't enable draft mode. Here if you select close period, it's a final mode depreciation. Directly if you click on calculate depreciation, the July month we have 4 assets. For 4 asset system will calculate depreciation, but that is draft mode depreciation only. Okay, we'll go and perform the draft mode depreciation. Okay, just click on calculate depreciation. If not from this place, from where we can run the depreciation, you can just go to task list. Here you have a task called as manage all books. Click on the task. Here system is displaying our corporate book. Okay, here we have a 2 tabs. Calculate depreciation, close period. Of course, it's a create accounting. So calculate depreciation, if you click on that, within this book, how many assets we have, for all the assets, it will calculate draft mode depreciation. How many assets we have? 4. Directly from here, you can drill down and you can see what those 4 assets. If you click on close period, that is a final mode depreciation. The period will be closed. The system will calculate depreciation and the period will be closed. Okay, fine. From here or from that asset work area, you can perform the depreciation calculation. Let's do from here. Select it, say calculate depreciation. Say okay, it's a draft mode. Okay, now system will trigger the relevant jobs to run the depreciation. If you want to go and see that, you can navigate to scheduled processes. So done calculated. Okay, now go to asset inquiry, search. Now you can find the depreciation for these 3 assets. So go to depreciation. So depreciation is calculated. Okay, so draft mode depreciation. Okay, we know in EBS release 12, not in 11i. In 11i, when you talk about rollback depreciation, that is a manual process. If you do some changes to against any asset, after calculating the draft mode depreciation, you have to go and run rollback depreciation request through SRS window. Otherwise, the changes cannot be reflected. But from EBS release 12, what Oracle did, the rollback depreciation they automated. The same is applicable in the Fusion also. So when rollback depreciation is applicable, only in case of draft mode. If you go with the final mode depreciation, that is not applicable. You cannot roll back. So final run, so system will close the period. You cannot do anything. In case of draft mode depreciation, system will perform the rollback automatically. So to test that, so first what we'll do is just you look at these. So I'm taking the example of XYZ buildings. For XYZ buildings, depreciation is calculated. So $694.44. Now we'll go and do some changes to this asset. We'll go and do edit. We'll perform some edit operation, and system has to roll back this depreciation. We'll go and see that. Okay, the asset number is 111998. Okay, go to adjust assets. Click on search. This is the one XYZ asset. Go to change financial details. So the moment you do the changes, since already draft mode depreciation is calculated for this asset for current month, okay, system will roll back the depreciation which is already calculated. For just testing, I'm just changing the asset life. I will submit to reflect the changes. It takes some time. I'll wait for that. I'm just clicking on search, which may work as a refresh. Yeah, please.
Lakshman, is it revaluation is a separate menu or?
Revaluation. Yeah, revaluation is totally different topic, right?
Yeah, different topic. I'm looking at the menu when you changed it. Are you covering the topic too or no?
I'm not sure whether we have in this. I'll just, even I don't remember, just I think we have. I think I didn't include it. If you want to perform the revaluation, what happens is we will have a lookup value. You have to add it, then only the revaluation, the function will be added into these forms. I'll show you that point. You can understand. Yeah, I think I didn't include in this. Not sure. I'll take you. I'll just show you that point where you can understand. So like
Yeah, that's all needed. Thanks.
yeah. Normally directly it won't display. We have to add it. Once you add it, it will give you the option to enable, and once you enable, you will be able to perform. That's how they're given that control. I'll take you through that. Fine. So now I'll go to change financial details. I'll set back to the same. Just only I want to make the system to understand. I am doing some changes, and finally we want to see the results. Because of these changes, system has to roll back the depreciation. That's it. Fine. We calculated draft mode depreciation and we did some changes to the asset where draft mode depreciation already available. Now you can go to the asset inquiry, click on search. So for any asset, if draft mode depreciation is available, and if you do any changes, automatically system has to roll back the depreciation, right? So just select this XYZ buildings, go to depreciation. First we'll see for ABC buildings. Select ABC buildings, go to depreciation. Yes, available. Go to 1, 2, 3 buildings. Yes, available. But go to XYZ buildings, there should not be depreciation. System should roll back. Yes, done. Okay, this is a rollback depreciation. Only in case of draft mode, if any changes you do against the asset, automatically system will roll back. In case of EBS 11i, manually you have to submit rollback depreciation program. But in release 12 EBS, it happens automatically. The same applicable in the Fusion also. That's all. That's all about running the depreciation. Anyway, we'll run the final mode and all. Okay, we'll be running the same I mentioned as a rollback depreciation also. Fine. So these are the concepts. Maybe just one or two classes we can complete remaining topics. Yeah, please.
When you run depreciation, Lakshman, there's a report. eBusiness Suite runs a report, reserve ledger report.
Yeah.
Where it tries to show your
It will trigger. You can find in the schedule process.
All right.
Yeah. Because we run the draft mode, that is the reason just we are not going through that. So when in the final mode, just we'll go through all the sequence of reports, jobs which it will trigger. The same happens here. You can see.
Okay. Okay. It must have scheduled that. Okay.
Yeah. No, it will trigger immediately. The schedule process, you can see that.
I meant that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you need to run the create accounting process before running the depreciation, Lakshman?
No. It's not. It's all about what is the purpose of create accounting, generating accounting entries. That is the first step. Second step is transferring. So I created asset, and I may just run the depreciation. After that, I may perform the just what I can say retirement also. You see, there is no dependency. You can perform the transactions any point of time. You can run that. So take example of payables. You create an invoice, and if you are going to make the payment, it's not accounting is not mandatory. Without accounting also, you can make the payment for the invoice. In the same way here also, you can create asset. If you want to create the accounting, you can create it, or else no issues. You can perform many operations on that asset. Ultimately, all that information need to be interfaced to GL. For that, we have to perform the accounting. Then only that information can be interfaced. Okay, not mandatory. Without that, you can run the draft or final or many other events. Many other actions you can perform on the asset. That's not mandatory. It's only mandatory to interface to GL.
Generally, depreciation is a month-end task. It's not a daily task. That's why.
Yeah. Yes. Fine. We don't have dependency. Okay, we don't have dependency to run the depreciation, run the create accounting to perform any further actions on the asset definition.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Fine. That's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow. We'll continue from here. Okay, maybe one or max two sessions if required to. We'll have it two. Otherwise, one session we will complete most of the concepts remaining. The second session will close and we'll go with some other topic also, other module. Maybe cash management we can start with, or else we can start with the O2C configuration process. Okay, thank you all. Have a good day and good night. Any questions, please?